How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs co-beat writer for On SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. Today, we'll be finalizing our prediction for the upcoming game between the Indianapolis Colts and the Kansas City Chiefs. While there is an hour before game time, it is important to dive into the things of how Kansas City can win this game and how they can stop a top AFC South, or really just an AFC South team in the Indianapolis Colts. I would say, though, going into this game, that this is a must-win for Kansas City, especially when we're looking at how it was unfolded last week against the Denver Broncos. It was one that they could have won. They won that they should have won, and one, if they would have won, that could have been a lot different of a narrative going into this game. But now that you did lose and you're going into this game at a 500 record at 5-5 against an 8-2 Colts team, this is a must win for Kansas City. I don't know how many times I have to say it. It is the truth. If you win this, your playoff odds are a lot better than if you do lose. Falling 5-6 would this late into the season would be a first for Patrick Mahomes, and really something that Kansas City hasn't dealt with in a long time. But with that being said, there are definitely ways that they can capitalize on taking down the Colts. In my opinion, I think that this is going to be kind of an offensive powerhouse type of game. The Colts have the top NFL offense in terms of average yards per game, as well as scoring a lot of points, and they average a lot of points. While they haven't necessarily defeated a lot of big names this season, they have taken down the likes of the Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Chargers. Something that the Kansas City Chiefs haven't been able to do this season. They have dominant victories, and they have victories that just get by the skin of their teeth. And similar for Kansas City, when you're playing a close game compared to how it was last season, they haven't fared that well this season in one-score games. One, that I think that this will be a different narrative going into Week 12 because, one, you're 5-5 and you need to have this win. Two, you have your home crowd behind you playing at Arrowhead. Three, you have succeeded a lot at Arrowhead this season, as 4 of your 5 wins have come at home. And 4, the Indianapolis Colts have a 500 record when playing on the road. They're 2-2. 2 of their losses have come when they're playing away from home. This is the time to beat the Colts. This is the time for things to turn up Kansas City. My final score prediction for this game should be hovering around 31-24 Kansas City. If you lose this game, I would go out on my way and say that it will be very difficult, very, 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 very difficult for this Kansas City Chiefs team to find their way into the playoffs, regardless of how many games you win at the end of the season. If you're falling below 500 or 500 record at this point in the year with the competition that you have up next, with the likes of the Houston Texans, the Dallas Cowboys, you have the Chargers again, you have the Broncos again, you have the Raiders once more. You've got to win this game, and you've got to do it in a convincing fashion. Patrick Mahomes has performed well at home this season, and I think that he's going to really take over things on his end of. I think that he's going to take over a lot of things for Kansas City in this game, because when you're looking at how things have unfolded this season, head coach Andy Reid has said that there are a lot of run calls that turn into pass plays, which that could definitely fall on the hands of Mahomes. But, at the end of the day, the 2-time MVP, he knows exactly what he's doing out there. And I think that if he takes over this game, and especially on the offensive game calls, I think that they will have a stronger chance at succeeding. On the defensive side of things, there are flaws that the offense for the Colts do possess. Example, the secondary has to be very strong. Daniel Jones has thrown 7 interceptions this season, and I fully believe that they need to have a strong game in that regard if they're going to be able to win. The offensive line is not necessarily terrific, and Daniel Jones, when he is under pressure, he doesn't have a lot of mobility compared to Patrick Mahomes. So the likes of the pass rushing and George Karlaftis and Chris Jones and the veterans on that defense, they need to step up in order to get the job done. But at the end of the day, I think that this game favors Kansas City, and it's definitely a more Kansas City friendly winning scenario than it is for the Colts. That being said, be sure you follow me over on X at Dom Minchella. Post and repost every single day. Not going to want to miss any coverage of the Kansas City Chiefs, especially going into this game and the rest of the regular season. You can also follow us over at KC Chiefs on SI and on Facebook. Everything gets posted there because Kansas City Chiefs on SI is the place to get your Kansas City Chiefs news. As always, folks, know the podcast was short today, but we've got a game to watch. Be sure you tune in tomorrow, and I'll give you my full review on how things ended up for Kansas City, both good, the bad, and the in-between. As always, be kind to one another. I'll see you tomorrow.